The Immortal John Hancock here, and today I'm going to be talking about the Atari VCS. 4 years later, I can't believe this month, at the end of this month, it has been out on the market for 4 years. I was an original backer. I've talked about the VCS. I've done some previous videos, and they seem to be pretty popular. And I know a lot of people recently picked up this hardware on a Black Friday sale or upcoming Cyber Monday under that $100 price point. I've talked a lot about this console PC hybrid in the past. I've purchased about half the games on its digital market, and I have a lot of thoughts about this. So you're going to have your opinions definitely in the comments. Let me know. Did you pick one up? Did you get one on the recent sale? So you can get the bundle still on their website for about $100, which is pretty nuts. And you know, this has been kind of a challenging platform, I think, for Atari to continue. Current management did not really initiate this hardware, and Atari really seems to be going in the retro direction. And so it's been on the market though for 4 years. It's lasted longer than many people, including myself, believed it would have been on the market. The question is, what now? So I'm going to give an honest reflection. I'm really focusing on the last 6 months of this console, as every 6 months I do an update, and I've done many videos on my channel. It's in my Atari playlist, and the link is below where you can check that out. I also did an Atari VCS marathon where I put all my videos, mostly of it, together, and want to talk about it. And I'm also coming from the stance of a publisher. 4 of my games, you can purchase 4 of my games on the platform. And on that aspect, it's been pretty easy to work with Atari. And I work a lot with Atari. And so, yeah, this is a really kind of unusual hardware to talk about, because I don't think it's been super successful. I think they're finally clearancing this hardware out. Who knows how much longer it's going to be on the market. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it will. But every 6 months, I think everybody's kind of waiting for this to be just like discontinued. There's some things this last 6 months I wanted Atari to do with this. Some things they did, some things they didn't. I'm going to jump right in. So really, the last 6 months, Atari's had approximately a little bit less than 20 releases. A few of these releases are actually 2600 games. One was a game that they included in Atari Vault, but now include it separately for 99 cents. But mostly, primarily, the releases have been independent releases. Now, Atari has sprinkled some of their releases in, the big one being Yars Rising. And I like that Atari is still offering their games on this platform, but moving forward, there's a question mark, because they're not releasing everything on it. There's a lot of Digital Eclipse games that aren't on this platform. I wonder why. It's just kind of strange, because it's an anomaly. You know, to me, it's like kind of the discounted modern platform, you know, the dollar store of the options on the market still. I want them to be successful. Like, I'm a big independent game supporter. So anybody that published their games on this platform, my hat is off to you, and support what you're doing. And I know it's really hard. So let's jump in. What has been released in the last 6 months, and I'm just going to do an overview. I haven't purchased everything. I've purchased about half of the games on the marketplace, as I mentioned before. Newest one that just came out yesterday, which I didn't purchase yet, is Wivia. And Wivia looks like a cool, kind of like Vampire Survivors meets like retro, kind of like a roguelike. I haven't played it, but it looks interesting. And it's something that the Atari VCS needs more of, some more diversified independent game releases. So Wivia definitely is I think in the right direction. It has that good price point of under $10 or about $10, and that might be something I will pick up for my VCS. Also want to mention, in the last 4 years, I did update my storage space for my VCS. I do recommend that if you plan on purchasing any amount of games. The storage space on the VCS originally is pretty small, and Atari is now offering that. I also upgraded the RAM. I don't think you need that, but I've covered in the past what I've done to the Atari, and I think the stock model is fine for most of the releases. We're going to talk about Atari 50 in a bit. That's in a separate category. All right, the other interesting game is in, I think, like a early release or early access is Roasty Buds. And this is a coffee company tie-in. So it's a game that's tied into this coffee company based out of Texas. They did send me some of the coffee. I'm going to be doing this in like a YouTube short, talking about what I think of that coffee. The actual game is pretty good. So I purchased the game. Early access, it's not complete, but what I've played so far, it's pretty fun. And so it's a weird tie-in. I think Atari is just desperately trying to make something stick on the VCS. I still think it has an identity problem. I still think, I wonder, what is Atari going to do with the VCS moving forward? It just seems like it's just pretty random. Many of the games offered on the VCS, you need to know this, are offered on other platforms, mostly Steam, some on Switch, but for some that just want to dabble with something a little bit different that focuses on some indie releases, this may be up your alley. I did pick up some other games. The Sentinels of Atlantis is like an Atlantis homage, and so check that out. It's on sale right now. Some of these games I'm talking about are on sale. Super Maze 3D 16, pretty interesting indie release as well. Then you have Off-World Rally. That's a pretty cool release. And then I picked up Metkin's Multi-Ball, which is like a pinball based off some indie games. And so those are just kind of what to expect when you pick up an Atari VCS on its actual digital storefront. Now there is a PC mode. It supports Linux. You can run it in PC mode. You can, if you run it in that mode, you don't see the Atari store. They even offer an easy way of checking this out on their website. USB all set up for that, and you can check what it is capable of. There's also emulators you can run on the VCS, and you can make it into a full-blown computer. And some people really enjoy that. For the market, it's definitely like a budget PC. It's not going to run anything high-end, but you can run Steam through that, and you can run some other things. I've shown this in the previous videos. So interesting that it's this like console PC hybrid, and I think there's enough there for people that want to tinker with something unique. It's just really an interesting conversation piece because a lot of people don't even know it's still on the market. It's probably getting more attention now that it's being clearanced out. I mean, the question is this it? How much longer is it going to be on the market and be supported? So let's talk about kind of some other things that are on the Atari VCS. They did recently, in the last 6 months, offer Mr. Run and Jump the 2600 version, and it is on sale. As I mentioned before, you have Yars Rising and Atari 50. Now, the interesting thing about Atari 50 is it's going to be getting free DLC. The problem is it's not coming till next year. And one of the issues is the storage space. The update for this additional content is pretty large and takes up a decent amount of storage space on the Atari VCS. And so I do recommend, if you do plan on getting any amount of games, updating your storage, which is fairly easy to do. And there's a lot of tutorials online showing that. But yeah, going back to what Atari offers, they have some apps. I still am a fan of Antstream Arcade. They do offer a free option where you can play so much per day. There is a subscription service where you can subscribe to it, but Antstream offers a wide variety of additional retro content through the VCS, which is a nice option. Atari, I do believe, is a stakeholder in Antstream. I am a fan of the service. I've talked about it in the past, and I think it's a great addition to what they're trying to do with this PC console hybrid. And so, looking at the menu of games and reflecting back, of having it 4 years, there's lots of people have lots of opinions about the VCS. I think overall, the controller, which I do believe was constructed by Power A, it's not a bad controller. You're not going to have the durability of like an Xbox controller, but overall, this gets it done. And I've used this one. This is my original controller 4 years, and it's not my daily driver. I don't play my VCS every day, but you know what? Overall, this controller's held up. There's some other people that are more that have played games heavier on their VCS that these do wear out. They do get drift. That's what I've been told. But overall, mine's been pretty good. I did pick up a few extra. By the way, it is wireless, and it's pretty easy to charge. I haven't had any major issues whatsoever. Now, let's talk about classic controller. A lot of people have opinions about this, and some people really love, and you can use this on PC as well. And you know what? It's got some cool features to it. You can play it on Atari 50 and some other things. And the stick to me is a little bit too short and wobbly. Some other people said these wear out pretty fast. I haven't played it enough to experience that. So overall, I think the stick's just okay. A lot of people, other people praise it and like it more than I do. I was kind of just more middle of the road. So yeah. That's where I'm at. My question is, how much longer is this going to be on the market? You need to understand that when you're picking it up, that you're getting essentially a console that hasn't been super successful, and who knows how much longer is it going to be on the market. Are they going to update the operating system? Are they going to make a VCS 2? I have no idea. I haven't talked to Atari about that. I do support them, and I'm glad that they've continued to support this challenging project in hardware, because it wasn't made from current management. It was something left over from previous management that they had to kind of take on, and that's really difficult. I wonder if Atari's management system is just a little bit on the small side to really fully support this hardware. I know it's been challenging for them. Updates have been slow to roll out. People have had some issues of getting it to work out of the box. I don't know the current situation with that. It sounds to me like that's been fixed. There's been some recent updates, I do believe around September, October, that have addressed that. I haven't had any major issues with mine, and overall, you know what? I give it an overall grade of a C-. And just be aware, there's a lot of cool independent releases on this console. It's got some cool apps. I think just know what you're getting into when you're picking this up on sale. You know, originally it was what, $300, and now it's $100. Well, there's a reason why. It struggled to be on the market and has an eclectic amount of games, but if you're an Atari enthusiast, it's a great way of checking this out on a television set. You can add additional games if you go that PC mode and make it like an emulator box. There's lots of different things you can do with it. And overall, am I glad I got it 4 years ago? Absolutely. It's been a great journey. I've enjoyed talking about it on my channel. I love talking about Atari stuff in general. And what do you think? In the comments below, let me know what you think of the Atari VCS. I enjoy having these conversations. And thank you so much for coming to my channel. If you like what you see, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell, as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care.